Nigerians has condemned the reckless spending of the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his vice president as they embark on incessant foreign trips without recourse to the agony and pains and sufferings Nigerians are undergoing on their watch. Ever since they assumed office, Nigeria have declined economy and security-wise abysmally, and these have raised so much concerns, and citizens are no longer free to go about their duties without fear of being apprehended or killed as a result of the increasing vices and insecurity, which is attributed to the economic woes and economic redundancy of the Nigerian state, as many people has no meaningful jobs and some have lost their jobs and the economy is biting hard, and this informs the reason why so many persons and Nigerians drifting into anarchy, into chaos, into all manner of social vices, criminality in order to survive.
President Tinubu, you and your wife said you were rich already. Take up some of these bills. Right. The same president that his son was using presidential jets, wasn't it?
I saw that video.
January, the president said, oh, he will reduce the number of entourage. But the same president has traveled 29 times in 17 months. The vice president has traveled 17 times in 17 months. Tinubu government keeps getting fatter and fatter, and yet we get this occasional thing about cosmetic gestures, about reducing the cost of governance. Yeah. No, they are not reducing the cost of governance. I will believe that they are reducing the cost of governance when senators and the House of Reps members stop going about in long convoys, and the president comes to Lagos and he himself uses just 3 cars.
Yes, show by example.
And we don't see any long convoy.
Fantastic, fantastic, Dr. Abati. You cannot be more correct. Lead by example. Rufy.
So Dr. Abati here always tells a story of when they went to the Netherlands to meet, it was Mark Rutte then. The Prime Minister of the Netherlands. I want everybody watching me out there to please check the GDP of the Netherlands. And the Prime Minister was riding a bicycle. And also, please check the GDP of Nigeria. And President Tinubu just bought a big jet for himself.
Yeah.
The first way to cut cost of governance is to cut that jet off. That plane is too big, Oji. The government has not given us in calculative cost how much it costs to fuel that jet for every trip it takes. We need to be able to get to the end of that matter. Secondly, I mean, we've talked about how bloated the cabinet is.
Yeah.
Because of the First Lady, the other day, she was telling porkies by saying that, oh, nothing comes to our office. But we found out that it was all porkies, that over billions were allocated for her to buy cars. Also, all sorts of government shenanigans, projects and everything. Recently, we brought out a stat that says how many billion was spent on getting visas for government officials.
Yes, that's what
the true cost of government, cutting cost of government starts with President Tinubu. He needs to cost his cost.
Yes.
All the money that comes to the presidency need to be slashed in half.
Yep.
President Tinubu, you and your wife said you were rich already. Take up some of these bills. Right. The same president that his son was using presidential jets, wasn't it? Well, no. I'm saying because of your own personal money, cut some of this luxurious costs. We can't afford your lifestyle. We knew you were already rich before. You had your own private jet before you came to be president of Nigeria.
Rufai,
we are saying cut your own lifestyle. We can't afford your luxuries.
Rufai, talking about the private jet, somebody just sent me a video of the Singaporean PM, Lawrence Wong, traveling on a commercial flight after state protocols. But I mean, I know that it's going to be a huge, a far-fetched idea for Nigeria for now, for using, I mean, commercial.
British PM flies British Airways.
But that notwithstanding, the president and its entourage have not deemed it necessary to review their SSCs as Nigerians cries out, saying that we no longer could afford your lifestyle. You deceived us by telling us you are not interested in our money, but then spending the same money, even most of which were borrowed, to fuel your luxurious life at the expense of the Nigerian masses, where even the borrowed monies are being used to pay for travel allowances, expenditures, and other logistics, just to make the government of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, fear of pause, such exotic lifestyle does not engender any progress and prosperity for Nigeria, as Nigeria spends their meager resources, just the largest chunk of that in travel allowances and other protocols, of course, aligned with such. And it's been reported that within 17 months, the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu have traveled for more than 29 times. And all these travels, some claim that it is just to seek for some funds, only to be shared among the same politicians. There have not been any meaningful engagement or constructive engagement with the masses, and this has not in any way attracted any foreign investors, as one of the notable musicians in the person of Davido Adeleke have criticized the government regarding or describing the Nigerian economy as being in shambles, because he have not seen any hope ever since Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his government came to bear. But then some Nigerians and analysts in Arise TV has this to say, calling the president to caution the excesses, even in amidst this economic wars, crisis, realities, that Nigeria could no longer afford to pay salaries except they borrow. And unfortunately, these borrowed funds are not being accounted for, most of which end up being diluted by the people within the corridor of power, not being accountable to and sincere to the Nigerian populace. And this informed the reason why, in the latest ranking, Nigeria has been ranked among the worst governed African nations. Of course, uh, bedeviled by insecurity and economic uh, buhahas that have left the country more worse governed. Nigeria was ranked among the 11th countries in Africa that witnessed the highest level of deterioration in governance during the period under review. Ever since 2015, when Nigerian democracy was handed over to APC, down to this point, 10 years down the line, Nigeria has been bastardized, destroyed, and this has plunged Nigeria into among the worst African, most deteriorating governance, and where there is no rule of law, and rule of law or fundamental rights of the people is being usurped or undermined. Well, this, according to the report, is quite unfortunate, but then Nigerians and many more, even in diaspora, are very apprehensive. What will become of this country? Why is the government not thinking out how to solve the problems, rather than using all the time available to think and to strategize how to be meaningfully engaged, uh, building the local refineries, local businesses, creating enabling environment, facilities, infrastructure such as light, stable power supply, and then you are just flying all over, and every trip attracts humongous allowances and expenses at the expense of the Nigerian scarce resources.